Hey, AJ, guess what? Guess what?
Double Easter.
Yeah!
So for our Easter show, we're actually going to cook ham 2 ways.
Woo!
So how are you going to do your ham?
I am going to deep fry my ham into bliss.
And of course, me, I'm going to put it on the smoker.
Really?
Yeah, shocker. Huh?
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to do a bourbon orange glaze for the ham. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook 2 hams today and compare the 2 and see which ones we like best. I personally think they both will turn out amazing. Since I'm doing mine on the smoker, we'll start first. The first thing we need to do is make the glaze. To start off with the ham, first thing I need to do is make my maple orange glaze. We're going to add 4 tablespoons of butter and 1 finely minced shallot. So we're going to let that just saute, probably about 2 or 3 minutes. Let it get all, these get clear and a little soft. So give it about 2 minutes for it to saute.
So we're going to sweat it though, right? No color on the shallot?
Correct. Yeah, we definitely don't want color on the shallot. So we'll just at least continue just for probably another half minute or so. The butter's all finally melted.
And it's starting to be very fragrant and nice.
I love the way shallots smell. Just like onions, just the aroma is so nice. These shallots are pretty much to the point where we want them to be. So now I'm going to add my favorite ingredient, 1/3 of a cup of bourbon.
And what kind of bourbon are you adding?
I thought it's mostly local to Utah. It's called High West. Made in Park City. It's the only one that we ever use around here. I'd like to say it's Bomb and Pop, but they've grown so big that they're no longer Bomb and Pop. In fact, I think one of the big beverage makers actually purchases them, but that's still the brand I use. So.
And it's always fun when you can buy local.
Yes, definitely. Yes. I try to buy local for all my, everything I can. Even the grocery store is a locally owned store. The only exception is Costco. I usually buy my meats from Costco.
Yeah, it's hard not to beat Costco is a pretty difficult thing.
Yes, especially with their meat, but my everything else, the grocery stores, I try to be local as much as possible. So we're going to let this reduce to about half. We're cooking the alcohol out of it right now. So if you don't drink, don't worry, the alcohol does burn off, and then you're just left with the flavor. All right, but this is almost reduced, probably close to half. I'm going to turn the heat all the way down to low. I'm going to add in, I have about a tablespoon of coarse mustard and a tablespoon of Dijon. I'm just going to add that in.
Give it that extra kick.
Oh, you smell that mustard with the bourbon?
Oh,
and
yeah.
the shallots? That right there is perfect.
Yes, it is. And this is such a nice way to build layers. Layers of flavor.
So now I have a 1/4 cup of orange juice. 1/4 cup of maple syrup.
So a little sweet, a little spicy.
And then I have a tablespoon of fresh thyme and a tablespoon of rosemary. Pinch of salt. And then I'm going to crack some pepper. And just stir it all together. So what we're going to do is let this simmer, continue to simmer. We're going to do the back of the spoon test where basically if it coats the back of the spoon, it's ready. So probably about, 3 or 4 minutes.
And what's your heat on? Medium?
I got it between low and medium. I got the glaze to the thickness where I would just gently coat the back of a spoon. I removed it from the heat and I'm gonna let it cool for 5 to 7 minutes. This is the ham we're gonna be using. I may have mentioned earlier, I'm not a big fan of the spiral cut hams. I don't have good luck with them, but I do have great luck with the Costco hams. So this one is not too bad. It was $2.39 a pound. So it was just slightly under $10 for 4 pounds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this from the wrapper. I'm gonna put it cut side down on it on a piece of parchment paper, and this is just for easy cleanup here. And then we'll put the glaze on it. I just removed the ham from the plastic wrap. I also patted dry with a paper towel. I have my glaze right here. I did transfer it into another bowl just to make it easier to transport. The cast iron does get heavy. And all I'm gonna do is take about half of this glaze and cover the ham with it. And it's gonna run down the side. So. Just brush it. Make sure to get the back side here. I got the first layer of glaze on the ham. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out on the smoker. We're going to use the Rectech bowl. I have it set for 350 degrees. I'm using a maple pellet. We're going to put this in there probably, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. I'll check it. Put a thermometer in there. I wanted to pull it out around 140. So if it's around 130 or so, I'll put another layer of glaze on and then wait for it to get up to temperature. And I'll show you those steps as we do it. So I'm going out to the smoker. And when I come back, we'll start working on the deep fried ham.
Okay. All right, guys, this is ham number 2. Super, super easy, right? And it's going to be done in about 10 minutes. So all this is a spiral cut ham from Costco. We all love the spiral cut ham from Costco, except for obviously AJ. Because like he says, they really can get really dry, and he's not the first person that I've ever heard say that. So all I did was I took the glaze package right out of the ham, and I just cooked it according to the directions. And then I'm just going to pour this hot, bubbly, gooey glaze, which is truly, I think, the best part of the ham. I'm right onto this. Now, the nice thing about this is twofold. One is it's fast, so I can concentrate on my sides, whether it's Easter dinner. If it's Easter dinner, I'm probably out doing Easter egg hunt. And yes, don't judge me, we do adult Easter egg hunts. Or I'm cooking other things, or I might even just be hanging out with my guests and visiting and not spending the whole day in the kitchen. You can use, of course, a pastry brush if you want to just kind of slide things in there, whatever you want. The nice thing about this is you're going to get this crunchy tidbits of stuff, and people are going to go crazy for it. I've actually seen people almost fight to get some of that crunch. I'm not a fighter, though. I'm a lover. So I just take my share before I put it out for anybody else to eat. I'm going to deep fry this ham, which is really different than what a lot of people do. The deep fryer that I'm using, however, is not a standard deep fryer where you put a fire underneath it and you run away and you pray your house doesn't catch on fire. That would scare me, and I like my house too much to do that, and I love AJ's house too much to do that to them as well. So I have what's called an electric deep fryer. They're really nice. A lot of the fears that you have with the deep fryer go away. Your homeowners association isn't going to freak out because you're using it. So let's go outside and take a look at what that looks like. By the way, you can use these in the house. I chose to just put mine outside today because, well, we're doing some smoking with AJ's ham, and so we might as well use the great outdoors. So let's go outside. So this is my deep fryer. I mean, you can see it's nicely contained. It's electric. I have 2 gallons of oil in here. You can save the oil for a little bit. You know, I'm of the generation where we used to have those, we still do, right? We used to have those little home deep fryers and we'd keep the oil in it forever. I do drain this and strain it and then put it in my fridge. I'm not as bold as I used to be in the 70s and 80s, so a little bit of discretion. Alright, as you probably know, a ham is already cooked. It's been smoked. So really all we're going to do is warm it up. But we're going to lift the basket and gently lower it into the oil. The oil's going to applaud you. And we're going to leave it there for about 9 to 10 minutes. You can do a little bit less if you want, but I like that crispiness, so I'm going to leave it in there, like I said, 9 to 10 minutes.
The ham's been on the smoker for about 40 minutes now. What we're going to do is we're going to put another coat of glaze on it and then let it smoke for another 12 to 15 minutes. So as you can see, it does drip down and does get a little burnt. That's why I cook on the parchment paper, so it makes the cleanup a lot easier.
It has been about 10 minutes now. We're going to open this carefully.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to turn this off. One thing I did forget to mention earlier is that you do want to obviously preheat your oil. So I cooked this in the preheated oil at 375 degrees. And I'm just going to lift that out for a minute. You have these little hook things that you just put it on. Let the oil drain out. I mean, you can see the nice thing about this is really it's safe, and I just can't even begin to you know, tell you about that. But I love the deep fryer. It's something I can do, and that's really important. I'm going to shake off some of the oil. Shake, 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 shake. And I'm just going to put it right here. Close this back up, turn it off, I'll unplug it, and we'll let it rest for about 10 minutes and then we'll cut it up.
Both hams are finished. This is the smoked one with the maple orange glaze, and this is the deep fried one. They both look amazing. It's a little side-by-side comparison. I say we start digging into them and let's taste test them.
Yeah.